everyone. My name is Rochelle Innocent and I'm the founder and CEO of Project Purpose. Welcome to our channel. Our community is focused on fostering the intellectual and character development in children. We do this through our parent-child workshops that are focused on 4 themes: autonomy, self-efficacy, compassion, and self-concept, in order to cultivate grit, perseverance, and resilience in each child. And we are so thrilled to be offering one of the first of its kind digital, virtual, and continuous learning environments, enabling parents and children to connect from all around the world. At Project Purpose, our overarching mandate is to renew and rebuild family, community, and relationships. Our different social media platforms provide us with an opportunity to have discussions and to create space for all topics that relate to family, community, and relationships with ourselves as well as with others, with a primary focus on mental health and education. More precisely, the ways that the institutions of mental health and education play a role and have played a role in our societies at large. These discussions and debates provide us with an opportunity to think critically about what needs to change within these structures for us to live up to our bold slogan: support, protect, and empower each child through youth-focused development, better known as leadership in juvenescence. We recognize that in valuing our children's leadership potential, this also translates as recreating and co-creating environments, both socially and politically, that will enable our children to thrive. For those of you who are particularly keen on the topic, we also write thought pieces every other Monday. We actually just dropped a thought piece this past Monday, so definitely be sure to meander over to the website and check out our online content. Now, if it is the case that you're looking for a listening alternative, well, we're available wherever podcasts are playing, and we provided you with access to the links down below. Now, as is the convention, be sure to subscribe, hit that post notification bell so that you are aware of every time we post. And of course, if you like these conversations and you want to keep them going, like, comment, and share this segment. Let's get into it. Allô les meufs et les mecs. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another segment here on Project Purpose. For those of you who are new, we cover topics that relate to mental health, mental wellness, and education on a week-by-week basis. And today's topic of discussion is mental wellness. And the conversation on mental wellness, I want to keep it light and fun, but still practical and of value to you. And I want to talk about holding grudges. And so I like to think that this is something that really does translate by way of our sense of wellness, because of course, if we're holding in that energy, that negative energy, it can't help us, right? But sometimes it's really hard to get that chip smoothed out on our shoulder. And so I am someone who has historically been very, very good at holding a grudge. So it took a lot of personal growth and development to cultivate the mindset that I have now around the behaviors that others have towards me that injure me in some way, shape, or form. So before I would take it personally, I would take everyone's behavior personally. It was very easy to get a reaction out of me. It was very easy to go into a song and dance with me. But even after that moment, like the catalytic moment, like I would hold a grudge, like I would hold it against you, for the rest of our lives. And I remember growing up, there were opportunities where people would call for a truce or wave that white flag, but I just wouldn't let it go. Out of principle, I refused to let it go, but I didn't realize that I wasn't giving them the opportunity to grow. And I also wasn't allowing myself the opportunity to grow either. So I have learned through time, life, and experience to let it go. And so here are the fundamental beliefs that enable me to let things go and to not hold a grudge against others when it is the case that they do something that hurts me or that injures me, whether superficially or deeply. This is how I can let it go. So the first tip that will help you sort of orient yourself around kicking the grudge to the curb is recognizing that people's behavior says more about them than it ever will about you. I no longer take people's behaviors personally. I understand that I am the target, that it feels personal to them. They want it to feel personal to me, but ultimately people's behavior gives me a window into their inner life. And so if someone's behavior is, from my perspective, completely out of left field, if it's like not appropriate, not called for, not triggered in any way, but that's sort of the way that they're choosing to behave, like for me, like that just gives me a window into their inner world. And I can only hope that at some point, stage and phase within their lives, they're going to do that inner reflection, that introspection, and they're going to hope for better for themselves. I hope for them that they learn to do better and that they learn better, and when they learn better, that they do better. And so because I recognize that people's behavior is more of a demonstration of where they are in their own growth and development, whether that's their emotional, their mental, their character growth and development, it just gives me the purview that I need to recognize, well, you know, this person in relation to me, how could this relationship grow? How could this relationship evolve? And if they are engaging in the kinds of behavior that make me really look at them and empathize with where they are in their growth journey, make the choice because their growth journey has impacted me in a negative way, like decide to keep a certain degree of distance, it's going to be without a grudge. It's not going to be something that I'm doing because I've taken it personally. I'm going to do it because I believe in protecting my own peace, right? But I don't need to hold a grudge while doing that. Just recognizing that people's behavior tells you everything you need to know about them, about their inner world, because people only feed you what they have within themselves, right? So how someone feels inclined to behave towards you, however that translates, that's within them, right? And so there are certain things that I know I could never bring myself to do because it's just not within me. It's not in my wheelhouse of behaviors. And because of that, if someone feels the need to do something that I feel like is just so out of there, like behavior that I would never personally want to engage in, behavior that I don't agree with, behavior that I find to be disgusting behavior, then I'm not going to take it personally. I'm going to take it as a mental note, and I'm going to pivot and adapt my behavior accordingly, but I refuse to hold a grudge. And so the second belief system that I fall upon as it relates to the behaviors that we engage in that may impact one another is that I do fundamentally believe that when there is injury involved, that 90% of the time is carelessness and not malice. And this is despite some of the extreme situations and circumstances that I myself have experienced. I think that a lot of the times people engage in harmful behaviors because they haven't thought their behavior through. And I think that when consequences come in and they're forced to really consider their behavior and forced to consider the impact of those behaviors, that hopefully that introspection will promote or will encourage them to grow and to think a little bit more deeply about how they want to show up in the world around them. And so because I do believe that most people inflict injury on others from a place of carelessness, it gives me the opportunity to give grace, because I know I most certainly have injured someone from a point of carelessness, whether it's because I was too focused on myself and preserving my own self in some way, shape, or form, or maybe it was because I wasn't being mindful, I wasn't being empathic at that point in time. Like, it wasn't out of malicious intent. There have been occasions in my life where I have definitely inflicted injury, but it wasn't malicious. And so because I recognize that I can engage in behaviors that can be harmful but are not intentional, I'm going to give people that grace as well. But obviously impact and intention, they're on a scale, so impact is definitely going to influence how I choose to engage moving forward. Like, how did that behavior impact me? How did that carelessness hurt me is going to determine the dynamic between us moving forward, but I'm not going to hold it against you forever. It's not going to be a grudge. And so the third point that I want to leave you here with, and again, this is going to be light but hopefully helpful, is I'm not going to allow other people's energy to be harbored within me. And I think holding a grudge is harboring energy, because injury that we inflict on one another, that's the injury. The pain is the energy that we feel from that injury, from that intention. And so I feel like it's just counterproductive. It's not helpful to me to carry that energy that wasn't for me to begin with. While it was directed at me, that's energy that they have to work through. That's healing that they need to focus on. Why should I let it disrupt my own center, my own being, right? Why should I let that energy affect my own state of mind? And so because of that, because I recognize that, I don't think energy is either created or destroyed, it's transferred from one thing to another. Newton's law of physics. I'm very careful and mindful about what energy I keep and what energy I let go of, and I don't believe in holding on to energy that doesn't serve me. And the energy that comes from an injury, from feeling offended, from feeling upset, from feeling hurt, that's the kind of energy that I want to honor. I want to respect the emotions that it garnishes within me, but I want to let that energy go, because I think that that's the best thing that I can do as it relates to supporting my own healing, growth, and evolution. So that was the video that I want to come on and have a chat with you today. Super quick, but hopefully helpful, hopefully gives you some stepping stones, some building blocks by way of not holding a grudge if you're someone who has historically done so. I think that we don't need to hold a grudge to remember the lesson. I think that not holding a grudge doesn't mean like letting it go and completely wiping your memory. That's not what I'm advocating for whatsoever. It's just letting go of the energy, not allowing it to disrupt you or to trigger you every time you cross paths with those individuals or with that person. I think that it's important to give people the grace that they are growing as you're growing, and they hopefully have learned from their behavior as you have learned from your past behaviors. And I think that having the ability to give people that space to be imperfectly human, I think, is always going to be something that's going to support us moving forward, because it gives us the opportunity or the permission to forgive ourselves when it is the case that we show up imperfectly as well. So that was what I wanted to come in here and talk about today, some food for thought for you. As it relates to my stalking situation, no information for you as yet, but definitely soon you'll be the first to know when I know. Thank you so much again. If you want to have a deeper dive as it relates to self-mastery and understanding some concepts that will cultivate your emotional quotient and cultivate your capacity to carry your own healing journey, then I do invite you to check out our live events. We do have them, the schedule posted on our website, so definitely meander over to the website, check that out, and we'll talk to you all very soon.